You would never leave your child with someone who despises you, but the system has normalized exactly that. Welcome back to the Anatomy of a King, the safe space for the black male face, where we build men from the inside out, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because what you don't change, you choose. And this change can't afford excuses. Today's episode, I hope it makes some people uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. I want to talk about something men whisper about privately but rarely say publicly. I want to talk about the danger of assuming the mother is automatically the best parent. Not because she's a woman, not because she's incapable, but because the system trains you to surrender your children without evaluating the environment you're leaving them in. Now, this is not an attack on mothers, but this is a call to protect your children, for men to protect your children, especially your sons, from environments shaped by bitterness, resentment, and emotional instability. Let's unpack that. For decades, men have been conditioned to believe that kids belong with their mother. She's the nurturing one. The courts always choose her, so she must be the better parent. That's not truth. That's programming. The state didn't choose her because she's more loving. The state chose her because of outdated assumptions about gender roles from the 1950s. Men internalized that. Men surrendered. Men walked away thinking they were doing the right thing. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Custody norms are not proof of parental quality. They're proof of legal tradition. And too many men have lost their sons to environments that were never evaluated for emotional safety. I want to talk about the son who looks like you. The one that walks like you, talks like you, thinks like you, carries your face, your energy, and your fire. If she hates you, if she resents you, if she feels abandoned, betrayed, embarrassed, or disappointed by you, your son becomes a mirror she can't escape. And mirrors don't lie. A son who resembles his father becomes the target of unhealed wounds. Not because she's evil, but because she's unhealed. And you, thinking you're doing the noble thing, leave your child in an environment where he is punished for being like you. That's not parenting. That's emotional crossfire. We have to stop one thing, but she's the mother. But she's the mother is not a safety plan. We have to stop confusing biology, tradition, and court rulings with actual parental fitness. Being a mother does not automatically mean she's emotionally stable. She's nurturing or supportive. It doesn't even say that she's healed or that she's capable of raising a son she resents by association. You would never leave your child with someone who despises you. But the system has normalized exactly that. And us men have accepted it without question. Let's be real. A bitter parent is a dangerous parent. A bitter parent weaponizes the child, rewrites history, projects pain, manipulates narrative, uses the child as an emotional currency, and punishes the child for the father's existence. And this is not gender specific. Men can be bitter too. But today we're talking about the scenario men are most often trapped in. Leaving their children with the woman who hates them. A woman who hates you cannot raise a child who looks like you without that hate leaking into the parenting. Bitterness is not a personality trait. It's a toxin. And children absorb toxins. I want you to listen to me, fellas. Sons need their fathers. Sons need structure, discipline, identity, emotional regulation, masculine modeling, accountability, and a blueprint for manhood. You cannot outsource that. You cannot assume that she can provide that. And you also cannot assume the system will protect that. A son raised without his father's presence becomes confused about his identity, vulnerable to emotional manipulation, disconnected from masculine grounding, and punished for traits he inherited. Your presence is not optional. It's foundational. Coming up, there was this myth, whether unspoken or other. I really want to dismantle the myth, because the better parent is not the one the court chooses or the one society praises. The one with the softer voice or the one with the maternal label. The better parent is the one who creates emotional safety, provides stability, models self-control, nurtures identity, protects the child from their own wounds, and loves without weaponizing. That can be a mother or a father. But you cannot assume it's her simply because she's her. This is where accountability comes in. Men must stop surrendering by default. We have to fight for custody, for involvement, for presence, for our sons, for our daughters, for our legacy. Not out of ego, but out of responsibility. You are not a visitor. You are not a weekend dad. You are not a donor. And you are not a backup parent. You are a father. And fathers don't surrender their children to environments they haven't evaluated. If you know she's bitter, she's unstable, she's resentful, she's emotionally unsafe, you've already had the child, but you find these things out and you still leave your child there, you didn't lose your child. You surrendered them. This episode wasn't about attacking mothers. It was about protecting children. It was about waking men up from the hypnosis that says, just let her have them. No. Evaluate the environment. Evaluate the emotional climate. Evaluate the impact on your son's identity. Your children deserve safety. Your sons deserve guidance. Your legacy deserves protection. This is the anatomy of a king. And remember, what you don't change, you choose. And this change can't afford excuses. See you next time.